to the line, ready to do the first autocross run in the new M3. Really excited to try this car out. This is supposed to be a really big deal in the M world. I'm not the biggest BMW fan in the world, but I certainly respect the chassis dynamics and the balance and stuff of the M cars. It's quite good. I'm sure it's definitely going to be showcased here in the autocross, how well balanced this car is. It's really going to be agile, help me get through all the gates and the tight spots, I'm sure. And again, I'm really excited to drive this car too, because if you think about it, it is now the new official mascot car of Canada. I mean, think about it. It's got those big buck beaver teeth in the front, so it's very fitting that I can make this car beat the M2 through the autocross and really make Canada proud. Let's do this. Okay, initial impression. Front end turn in is phenomenal. Really good balanced chassis on this car. Wow, super agile for such a big machine. Back end is very, very controllable. Lots of grip. Can't see the pylons because of the big buck-tooth hood though. That's okay. We can make that work nonetheless. Yeah, the transition back and forth through the slalom, so good. A little bit of turbo lag though, exiting the low speed stuff. Rotation to the high speeds, very good. Okay, a little bit of understeer there. Okay, first run, I gotta say, this thing, yeah, does handle the twisties quite good. It's definitely an M car in that regard. I'm not a BMW fan at heart, but after the first run, I was quite impressed with this car. The M3 gave me an instant sense of confidence, and with that confidence, I decided to really push on the next run and see what this car would do. It did everything I asked of it and gave me a killer time. On the last run, I wanted to keep the pace up on the high-speed section of the course. With the excellent balance of the chassis, I was able to carry a ton of speed through the left sweeper by just using a little bit of throttle off oversteer. And now we are in the M2, the granddaddy, maybe daddy of the M cars compared to the new M3. Either way, I am really looking forward to seeing what this thing will do. Let's face it, this one is a little smaller, it's a little more driver focused. Sure, the new M3 has, modern chassis, suspension, blah, 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 whatever. And it was quite good, I'm not going to deny that. However, this thing is a little more raw, a little more pure, and especially being smaller, I think that's really going to help in a tight autocross course like this. So if I have to predict which car is going to do the better time, I'm thinking this car. I hope I can prove myself right. Let's find out. Okay, first thing I noticed, the back end is definitely not as planted in this car as the other one. A little more rotatey, so I think it's going to take a little more driver effort to keep it in check, but that also might mean it gives me a little more options to rotate the car, which is good at low speed stuff like this. Okay, still quite good through the slalom. Smaller car makes it a little bit easier to squeeze through. Didn't quite turn in time there. Okay, we'll fix that on the next run. Yeah, this car definitely takes a little bit more driver involvement to go fast, but I like that. The M2 was a little more of a handful than I originally anticipated. I couldn't get as greedy with the throttle on the exit as I could with the M3, so I really had to focus on my throttle inputs on this run. I managed to rotate the car a little better and not upset the balance of the car mid-corner and net a better time because of it. One run left and there was a lot of time to make up. Although it was smaller and nimbler, the M2 didn't have the same turn-in as the M3. The M3's front end always went where I wanted it to, but the M2 was experiencing a little bit of understeer when I really pushed it. Unfortunately, that really hurt its ability to hustle through the tight autocross course. Whew. This car makes you work for the time. Wow. But it is so much fun because of it. The the M2's DSG got the win in the drag race, and the M3's handling won the autocross. Time to find out which one will set the faster lap around TMP. Okay guys, so again, we had a lot of points back and forth, lots of pros and cons. At the end of the day, what do we think of these two cars?
I came away thinking that this was a further dilution of the M brand. Something that the old school just wasn't translating to. More weight, yeah, more power, more technology, whatever you want. I ended up falling in love all over again for very similar reasons. It's a similar car, you can tell it's of the same family, but every single lap out just sent shivers through my spine, and because that had more opportunity, it felt like it was easy to go faster, and it had more and more left in it. I don't know if you felt that same way while you were doing the hot laps, but it just felt like you could continually push more and more, and it had so much in it.
It did. Like most sports cars, stuff like this, usually are graded 8/10. 10/10, they usually fall flat in the face.
Right.
This car didn't. Like, the more I pushed, the harder I drove, it just got better and better. I was surprised. Yeah.
So, but my point is, the difference is that is still an M. I drive this and I feel like this is an M car. I drive that and it could be anything. It could be an AMG.
True.
It is a performance car.
I will
It
say
felt
that.
like performance. It didn't feel to me that it had the M magic in it.
Not as involved as that, yes,
Yeah.
but it's going back that route with this car, I will say. It's definitely pulling back to that true driver engagement car. Not there yet, but it's on the way.
We think of it as the ultimate driving machine, but around the same time that this car came out, they actually changed that marketing label. It's no longer the ultimate driving machine. It's the ultimate everything machine. I wouldn't say this car is as comfortable for everything else. It's great fun on the track. It's great fun at autocross. So is this. But this is a heck of a lot less harsh. It does a lot. It still has that basic feel, the turn in, the front engine, the rear wheel drive. Maybe I get your point. It is becoming a lot like all the others, but it's still the best of all the others.
That I could see. That I could see.
So I guess in conclusion then, which one's the better car overall?
I have to give it to you. I think overall, that's the car. The 3.
Yeah.
Well, if you had an arm, I would raise it. Good job, M3. Good job.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. We've got lots more coming up.
And we'll see you
At the track.